before Law of Attraction Academy, LOA Academy, I really struggled, and I didn't know I was struggling with it, but I really struggled with settling for good enough in my life. I didn't know that I was settling, though. That's the thing. I had no idea that I was settling for good enough. And I really lived my life like that, real pattern in my life. And I kind of knew that at the time. Now I totally know it and can see it so clearly. But that was a big part of my life prior to this course. I tried to learn about law of attraction for a few years, off and on, before discovering Melody. And I thought I had to find every reason for why I was the way I was, that I had to dig for everything that ever happened to me in my life. And that if I couldn't, discover all those things and clear those things, and I had no idea how to clear them, that, I was stuck. I was stuck. And I just kind of felt like I was flatlining, and I knew it. I mean, I generally have a pretty good vibrational range, pretty happy. And I've done a lot of work, over the years to kind of get there. But there's been a big gap. And honestly, I didn't know what it was. I mean, I really didn't know what it was. A lot of this I can look back now in hindsight since the class, and see, those things, but it's kind of hard to articulate. I'm so analytical. I am such an overthinker, which I think this class is perfect for us overthinkers. It's perfect. Really nitty gritty, nuts and bolts mechanics of how things work. And I think that was a big missing piece for me. But I wasn't unhappy in my life, but I had reached a point, I guess, sort of a plateau. And I didn't know how to go further. I didn't know how to take my spiritual program further. I didn't know how to take my life further. I just kind of felt like, well, this is where I am. This is where I am. And it's good enough. Back to settling. I'm a big settler. And I didn't know that that I didn't have to settle, that I could, manifest something and see a progression and start recognizing what that is. I just settled for, well, it was better than what it was. So that's really a pretty good descriptor of where I was. Starting out, good motivation, starting out prayer and meditation. That's how I would start my day every day. And then kind of expecting that to be enough to change my life. Well, I'm praying and meditating, and why isn't my life changing? And then just kind of ignoring it and just go to work, go to, activities, eat, go to bed, start all over again the next day. A lot of times, in my life, there have been some very powerful moments and teachings or, growth spurts that I've had, where I've likened my experience to Dorothy going from Kansas to Oz. And that's kind of I would sum it up like that. Just kind of black and white, or life is fine, it's life. And then it's Oz. And this course was one of those, really pivotal times in my life. So that would be kind of a good analogy, a little visual, Kansas to Oz. So when joining LOA Academy has had a huge impact on my life. Like I said, I was very interested in learning about law of attraction, and I tried off and on. There were some teachers, and what I had a coaching call with Melody a few years ago, and I told her, these other teachers, and I won't say who they are, it doesn't matter, but they were really like the King James version of law of attraction, and Melody is like this New York, she's not from New York, street cred girl, you know. She really speaks the nuts and bolts, the mechanics of everything, and in a real way, a real relatable way, at least to me. And I don't know how anybody, not just me, I really don't know how anybody could successfully implement the law of attraction principles without taking this course. I really don't. My life changed in one day. For example, doing the pre-course assessment, which is part of the course, and which was a super helpful tool. And I did my work on it. I went through the process, and I was identifying, you know, some things. Specifically, I'll say a little example of a toxic situation at work, and very toxic, just, you know, environment. So do that work, you know, from the class. The very next morning, my boss, okay, it was a boss thing. My boss texted me and said, I'm going to be working from home for the foreseeable future. And it was like, this is working. This is working. I mean, less than 24 hours, you know, I was seeing, and I knew, I mean, it wasn't coincidence. It wasn't, you know, and every day was like that. I would keep a log of everything that I noticed that was happening in my life that was a direct result of the work that I was doing in the course. And I mean, I have pages and pages and pages of of, you know, small things, bigger things. So, you know, the impact on my life, again, I go back to, you know, Dorothy going from Kansas to Oz. I mean, it's exciting. And so little things aren't little anymore. You know, that would be a big impact, I would say, on my life, that I recognize things for what they are, not just little coincidences or just random events or just another day. I feel like I stepped out of Groundhog's Day, and everything is exciting. And even since the course has ended, it's still that way. You know, I've looked at various areas of my life before and after the program. One of the activities or assignments in the course is to do a self-assessment, which was a real eye-opener. And I have gone through and looked at, I'm looking at my assessment here, I have it with me, to see where I was before the course, you know, before taking the course, and which that was a surprise when I would rate, you know, these different areas of my life. Some of the ratings I did, it's a very honest self-assessment. We're kind of a surprise at the scores were lower than I really thought. You know, I didn't answer it like how I wanted my life to be. I was really honest. I really did the work. And every single area of my life as categories, you know, which are very, you know, categories that apply to pretty much everybody in their lives, every single one of those scores has gone up. Every single one of them. And some significantly, some I haven't, you know, even really worked on that much, but my scores have gone up. So I'm different, you know, when I'm different, you know, my life is different. The difference is I am aware of what I'm doing. I'm paying attention. I'm noticing what is happening, and I see my creation in my life, you know, that I'm creating it. And I can notice, wow, you know, I don't want to have my day like this, you know, if it's going downhill for some reason. I'm catching things quickly. I'm talking about LOA with my friends all the time. Um, I'm happier, so I'm still doing, I'm still having my normal days, but things are happening that are exciting and fun. Um, I, it's more vibrant is really, I'm still doing things that I do, but I'm doing more fun things. And I'm excited, just about, you know, getting up in the morning is more fun. I look forward to it. I listen to Melodies, videos, or watch them when I get ready for work, every day. Every day. It's like a boost. It's like a boost of, energy drink. So, anybody who is considering taking the course, maybe they're on the fence. There's a lot of reasons to be on the fence. Sometimes it's financial. Um, Sometimes it's, I know this stuff. I read a book. Um, all I can say is, you've got to have the experiential knowledge, and this course gives you that. The reading a book, even just watching videos on YouTube or reading the blogs, even just immersing yourself in melody stuff, which I think is the best way to go, is a great start. But I do not see how you could really get it, how you could really get law of attraction principles and concepts without taking this course. I just don't see how you could do it. I did those things. I was watching videos. I was reading blogs. I read Deliberate Receiving, which I love that book. I've read it several times. But it's a great foundation. I think it's great. But this course immerses you in working it, in the principles. You're actually living them, you're doing them. It's not like you have a lot of homework. It's not like it's hard. It's actually very energizing, and you get to spend, one of the big bonuses is you get, I wouldn't say unlimited access to Melody, but you get a lot of access to Melody, with the weekly calls, with the Facebook group. Of course, the pre-recorded videos are exceptional, but the access to Melody is incredible. You get to talk to her, every week, for a long time, if people are on the fence because of money, I was I wasn't on the fence. I was a little concerned about the money. When I saw the course was going to be offered, I thought, well, I have to, figure out how to make that happen. But I really, really, really wanted to take this, foundational course, this law of attraction course. So seeing, all the things that were being offered, I participated in that conference call. And when I saw the price, I couldn't believe it. I thought, well, I had to sign up. I signed up during that call. I thought it was a bargain. It was a bargain for all that you got. And it turns out after the course, or during the course, and after, I've looked at, oh my God, it was even more of a bargain for the amount of access that you have to Melody, the bonuses, the extras that she put in. If you just had the calls with her, it would be worth it. The calls were so good, the weekly calls. But the price, to me, is extraordinary. It's extraordinary for what you get. So, for anyone who's on the fence, I mean, everybody has to make that decision for themselves. But if you are interested in the law of attraction, and you're ready to take it a step further, this is it. This is it.